Okay. I wonder if Mayor is coming tonight. We are on Daf 5 from Rab, I want to say. Yeah. Yerushalmi Sotah. Okay. More stuff which is now in the Bavli tonight. Kishem showed the fourth line down. Kishem Shamayim Bokim Osa Al Kol Bio Bio, just like the water checks her on each and every time she had relations. She Mekabel as Bala with her husband, Lachara Boel, after she had relations with the adulterer. That's an interesting point because you sitting out in your car for a while? So just okay. I thought I saw you pull up and then you didn't come in. Okay, don't tell us about it now. So Geshesha my book Mosal called Bio Bio, she Mekabel's power, just like the waters check her on each and every time she had relations with her husband, Lachar Boel, after she had relations with the adulterer. But since those relations were also, right? He wasn't allowed to have relations with her, and she was being machshil him. She was causing him, of course, to commit a crime. So therefore, her death is all the more torturous as a result of that type of improper activity. Okay, 41, 6th line down. Kachem bokim oso. So too the waters check him also. In other words, he suffers for that as well, because it's also his fault. It takes two, right? Because he causes all situations to occur. Now, says Mar, he aidesha darkali oser. She, since she, it's generally speaking the woman who gets oser. So therefore, bain lo bain la'achir nivdaka. Regardless of whether she sinned with this specific guy of whom she's accused of sinning, or somebody else, she's checked out and she gets punished. That's her misfortune. But he, even if he was adulterous with other women, when the other women drink, hu nivdak, he's checked from the other women. Whereas just because, even though he was a real Don Juan and he was adulterous with many women, it's only when the specific woman in question is given the Sotah waters to drink that he's punished. Now, she's punished when she's given waters to drink, even if it's not from this specific guy, even if sometime else in her life she committed adultery. That's her tough break. But he's only punished when the woman in question drinks. Okay. So what happens if the waters checked him out and he died, and the waters didn't check her out? She died. She didn't die. She survived. I say as chus talala. She lingers because she had a merit of some sort. That's good according to people which we had, that the schus leaves her life. She has a merit, and we can't tell. So that's why she looks healthy. But according to people, we're told that we can tell when she sinned, even when she has a schus, because she starts, slowly dying, so that she starts deteriorating. Hare lo ukra. In this case, this woman was not recognized to have done anything wrong at all. So then was not recognized to have a schus toila. So how come the adulterer dropped dead? Elani Omer, so first one gives one answer. Ani Omer say, my megulim shasa, that the boel, the adulterer, drank waters which had been revealed, and therefore a snake left his venom in the water. And since the snake left his venom in the water, and he drank it, so that's why he got killed, not because he had adulterous relations with this woman. That's one way of learning. So it says more, no, that's not a way of learning at all. If that's what happened, that he drank snake-infested waters, then that's not, he doesn't die the same way. The types of convulsions are not the same at all. It's recognizable the way you die from Sotah death, so therefore he must have died. He died the Sotah type death, so obviously he wasn't drinking from a snake. So if that's the case, the question comes back: why does he die and not she die? So says the Gemara, Elani Omer, I say, El Kedun. So how does it come out? El Ani Omer, I say, Im Acheros Nistor. He got killed because he was closeted with other people. So no, wait a minute. But didn't we just say on top of Chuluch and Tzar Mema? Didn't we want to say L'Kshetishte who Nivdak? Only when the specific woman in question drinks, then he's checked out. Now with some other woman drinks. So says Imoti Potter explain that's about case really where he did it with this woman. But Shohaya who made it Visho Gegas. He was intentional. He raped her, or whatever the case may be, and she was unintentional. So therefore, the waters don't check her out because she's not liable to be put to death, but the waters do check him out, right? Who barko so who most amazing visho gegas barko so that's why the waters check him in that case. Low barko so despite the fact that they don't check her. Now what about the other case? Barko so low barko so she dies, but the adulterer does not die. Ani omer I say a schus tololei. I say his schus is good. He had a schus. So ani rukman no schus tololei cares. That's good according to opinion that the schus leaves him alive. He doesn't linger. But around command but according to opinion which holds that the schus leaves you alive. But in the carrots, it's recognizable, and you're lingering until you gradually die. It's deteriorating and die. So then, what are we going to say? Hare lo hukar. In this case, we see clearly that he was not wasn't to schus, because then we would be able to tell the difference and see that it was just a schus to keep me alive. El ani omer. So again, the same thing. I say in such a case, my magulim must be that the adulterer, my magulim shasa. He drank revealed waters, v'nitzveis, and I'm sorry, the waters checked him, not her, him. So therefore, the water she drank the mayim magulim, and that's why she had convulsions. It says Gemara, that's a case. Again, the same question here before. That's not the same type of death you die from snake bite. El kadun, you have to die another way. El aniyom, rather I say imachem nistera. I say that the reason why she was killed is because she was closeted with others. I thought that's the case, and he never closeted himself with others, so therefore he survives and she dies. So it says,
and the other should have died also.
What?
And the other men should have died also when she drinks the water.
No, only the one whom she's being checked. Not the other ones. It's a good point. Only the one from whom she's being checked right now. Not the other ones, yeah. You know she dies. That's an out. They have an escape hatch. Because they're not the ones whom she's being checked right now. Says Gemara, me'at of that case girei she muter ba. That's an interesting question. Let's say her husband divorced her. And the waters checked her, but not him. So she's dying away. But she wants to marry him. You know. Love conquers all, right? So she wants to marry him as she dies. Can she do it?
The husband divorced the Sotah.
Yeah, because she was obviously guilty.
Right.
But he's still healthy.
The adulterer.
What?
Oh, the husband, the ex-husband?
Yeah.
The adulterer.
Yeah.
So
The adulterer.
The adulterer. Oh, okay. So she wants to marry. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's still healthy.
Right. Because she's dying because of somebody else, not because of her. So it says, "Mati patisha hu shogeg b'im mazida." We're talking about a case where he's a shogeg. He was unintentional. She thought it was his wife, I guess, whom he was adultered with, and she's mazida. She was mazid. Ubarko asav v'lo barko. So the waters checked her, which is proper. V'lo barko, so they didn't check him.
How can he be shogeg?
What?
How can he be shogeg? He didn't know that
He thought it was his wife. Well, he didn't know it was his wife. That's a good point. Yeah. So in this case, says Gemara, he's not allowed to marry her because she was mazid, right? Now, says Gemara, who mazid vishogegas? What if he was mazid and she was shogeg? She can go back to her husband as long as her husband is not a Kohen. If her husband divorces her, nonetheless, can she go and marry the Boel? Now it's interesting because Taisus, the Yerushalmi brings down Taisus here. Taisus in the Bible says that she can. even though he was intentional, since she was unintentional, she was never usher to her husband. It says, Echol Abal, Echol Aboel. If the husband is usher, then the adulterer is usher too. But here, the adulterer she was never actually usher to her husband, because she was shogeg. If the husband wants to divorce her, of course, that's his prerogative. He can divorce a woman any one time he wants, right? It's only usher because of the Chen Rabbeinu Gershom. So, you may now divorce his wife against her will. But if he divorces her, it's not because she was mizana. Clearly because she was mizana. She's not also halachically because she was mizana. So therefore, Taisus in the Bible, he wants to say that in that case, since she's mutter to her own husband, she's also mutter to the adulterer. Again, her husband's not divorcing her because he has to if he does, but rather because he wants to, right? So it says the Gemara. So Taisus in the Bible, he says, but Yerushalmi wants to say she's mutter to adulterer, but the Gemara here doesn't say that.
She's still an Eishasish.
Well, once she gets divorced, she's not.
Right, but she was an Eishasish. She was Mazana.
But she was shogeg. He was Mezid. So she technically never came out to her husband. That's what you would say, but not the Yerushalmi. The Yerushalmi doesn't say that. Yerushalmi says very ba'abatish. After loymar mezid ba, can you say about her that she was mezid? That she no, it should be after loymar mezid bo, right?
Right. He's the mezid and she's the shogeg.
It must be Mazid Bo. I didn't fix it when I wrote this. I'm just scared. He doesn't change the girsa, but he does learn that way. The Carbonate says, After Lomar Mazid Ba, can you say that he was Mazid in her about the Marachan, she should be mutter to him? That's impossible. That's what he's saying. Since he's Mazid, yeah, that's what he says. Since he's Mazid, so therefore he can't marry her. Not like the Tosfos, right? Despite the fact that she's muteris to her husband didn't have to divorce her, nevertheless, the adulterer can't have relations with her. Because it's an oxymoron. It's a paradox. He intentionally was mazana with this woman. How are you going to let this woman go how are you going to let him go marry her? That's what we were saying.
It's rewarding him.
It would be rewarding him for his crime, right? Okay, so it says, what about the opposite case? Who sholi v'mazida? He was unintentional, and she was intentional. Pshita she's not allowed to remain married in that case because she was intentionally fornicating. Giresh ma'oshi mutar ba. If he divorces her, can her adulterer marry her? Says, well, no, of course not. Even though he was shogeg. Can you say she must leave her husband to Marachan, she's going to be mutter to adulterer? It's a logical impossibility. How do we know that the matter is up to her? Meaning that if she's muteres, if she's shogeg, she's mutter her husband. If she's mezida, she's also to her husband. How do you know that that's the case? So it says, it says, if to your wife of your friend you should not give your laying down for a seed. The tama ba to be matami within her. Ba the matter is contingent on her. If she is mazid, then she's forbidden. Shogeges, if she's unintentional, muteris, then she's permissible. Okay? That's the end of Sotah. Now we get into Tumah and Tara. But not for the rest of the Sechta, just a short time. Come on. Bo b'yom Darsh Rabbi Akiva. That day Rabbi Akiva Darsh, every time it says Shas Bo b'yom, means the day they push Rabbi Gamliel out in the Siyas and made Rabbi Elazar ben Asai Nasi. You might have opened the window, it's a little bit stuffy in here. Okay. Bo b'yom Darsh Rabbi Akiva. Now, I should draw you a diagram. What? Diagram. Here's a kli cheres. That's an earthenware vessel. Okay? A dead sheretz falls in. That's a dead sheretz. What's a dead sheretz? No, that's a... It's an havatuma.
Oh,
what is the clip? Yeah. That's an of hatuma. Okay? What does the kli cheres become? A rishon. The vessel becomes a rishon. What does the food inside become? Food becomes a sheni. The sheretz makes this an of, a rishon. Rishon makes a sheni. Not directly, no. So Bobby on Dersh Rabbi Kiva must have touched it, but that's not the case. Bobby on Dersh Rabbi Kiva, Kli Kol Cheres Asher Yipol Me'em El Socho Kol Asher B'Socho. Here's the critical part. Everything within the Kli Cheres Yitma. What does it mean Yitma? Eino Omer Tomei. It doesn't say that this thing is Tomei, this food stuff. Which would mean the buck stops there. Eino Omer Tomei El Yitma. What does it mean, Yitma? Letames acherim. Tells us that this food stuff can make something else tummy. Yitma. It's going to make others tummy. What does this teach us? Limed al kikar sheni. Teaches us that this loaf of bread, which is a sheni, makes shemtamis a shlishi. Makes a shlishi. It sounds like even by chulin. The sheni, Yitma, makes a shlishi. Another food stuff here would become the shlishi.
It has to be a different type of food stuff, right?
It has to be a different clump of food stuff.
Why isn't it become a sheni like the other food stuff?
Oh, you're right. Theoretically, here in this case, you're right. It would become a sheni because it's in the same kli cheres. Right, this one would actually have to be outside here. Correct. The sheni is touching your shlishi. It's touching something else by your shlishi.
Unless it's tuna or...
yeah, but that's what I'm talking about here. We'll get that later on. So now even Rabbi Yeshua said, "Mi galeh for me nech Rabbi Yochanan Mitzaka." Who's going to take the dirt off your eyes, Rabbi Yochanan Mitzaka? She somer dor acher. Yisomer used to say, "Osti dor acher." Eventually, another generation will come with taras kikar shlishi to purify the kikar shlishi. Shein lo mikra min haTorah, where there's no pasuk to aser min haTorah. Akiva Talmidcha, Akiva, who was one of the descendants of your Talmidim, not literally your Talmud, but a descendant of his Talmidim. Hevelo mikra min haTorah. He brought explicit Torah, positive in Torah. Shehu Tamei. That it's that a shlishi is tummy. Because said about a sheni, Shemar kol sherbet socha yitma, the sheni, anything inside becomes tummy. So therefore, it must be that we have a shlishi also. Says more Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Bun Mama Rabbi Shmuel, the Machlokas Rabbi Shmuel. Chadam Adia said for 1 cent. Chabein b'truma, bein b'chulin, Rabbi Akiva. Akiva said that you have shlishi both by chulin and by truma. The Chorona Maria said, by truma, yes, avolo b'chulin. By chulin there is no shlishi. So where does it stop by chulin? Sheni. Right. Says the Gemara, I didn't know which said what. Machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Min mat the Rabbi Yossi v'shem Rabbi Yoina. And now from that which Rabbi Yossi named Rabbi Yoina. Amril and Sis said Rab b'shem Rabbi Chia Ruba. Rab said named Rabbi Chia the Great. Hashlishi ba machmas sheretz. The shlishi comes because of the sheretz. Now we're talking about our case in our Mishnah. Hashlishi comes of the sheretz, right? Av Rishon Sheni Shlishi. Right? So we have a shlishi coming because of that little sheretz left there. Right?
Why is it a shlishi? It's the same question I had before.
No, because I made a mistake. I put this inside here with the sheni. Take it out and it can make a sheni. Okay. Take it out, yeah. That was the significant.
Now, is the same type of food stuff? It doesn't go...
As long as it's not one clump, it doesn't make a difference. Okay? So it says the Gemara there.
Again, I don't remember. I didn't think a sheni solid food stuff can make another solid food stuff another sheni. I thought it has to go...
That's ultimately we paskin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the way our Gemara is going at this point.
It's like a lateral transfer. It's not
right. They would have to do mashkin. You're right. But this Gemara still always there's a shlishi b'chulin. Okay. So it says heavy Omar. So he didn't do any distinctions here. Heavy Omar must be that you must say do Omar that he holds. Bein b'truma, bein b'chulin. Amrei Kiva. Well, b'chulin and by truma, Kiva said the sheni makes a shlishi. Okay, because he said shlishi about machmas sheretz. Mastisa pliga Rab. So our Mishnah argues on Rab because Rab seems to say there's a shlishi by chulin. What about this following price? It says ochel meiser. You have food and beverage belongs to meiser sheni. As such, it's meiser sheni. Shiur short. What do you do with Meiser Sheni?
Bring it to Yerushalmi.
Bring it to Yerushalmi, yeah. Or you redeem it and eat it and bring the money to Yerushalmi. And thereby food. So it says in Gemara, this Gemara seems to argue Rav. It says, Eichel Meiser, you have food stuff which is Meiser. This is a toughie actually. What has to be taken off of Meiser? By the Levi receives, what does he have to take off? 1/10, which is how much of the entire crop?
9%.
Huh? 1%. It's 1/10 of a tenth.
That's 0.9.
It's Meiser, right? Because Meiser is already a tenth. So says the Gemara Masisa Plio Rap. It says Oichel Meiser. The Meiser Sheni, which is food of Meiser Sheni, Shauchsher Meiser Mashka, which became suitable Kabbalah because it came into contact with beverages. We're not about Tvuyom, and Tvuyom touched it. Tvuyom is after his tefillah before night falls. Or Yadayim Esuavos, or dirty hands. Which in the old time, Yadayim Esuavos or Sheni Lutzuma. Mafrish Mimenu Trumas Meiser B'Tara. Here's the clincher. It says you could take Trumas Meiser from it. It just became a shlishi. I made a mistake. It's not Meiser Sheni talking about. Later on I talk about Meiser Sheni. It's talking about Meiser Rishon. I know it's about Meiser Rishon here because it says you're taking Trumas Meiser off of the Meiser. My mistake. Okay, scratch that for the record. Delete that. Says more again. Masisa pliga rap. Going back a few lines. Oichel Meiser Shulchar v'mashke. Food of Meiser Rishon, which became suitable to be makabel to a mashke. By beverage. V'nog about Tvuyom, and if Tvuyom touches it, oh, Yodayim Esuavo says dirty hands touch it. Nevertheless, you can take a Trumas Meiser, which is like Truma and must be made tar, as a tenth of the Levi's tenth. You could take it off, the Tara, and assume it's still tar, shlishi, because it's a shlishi, third level. The shlishi Tahar b'chulin. Shlishi is tahar b'chulin. So the Tvul Yom or Yadayim B'Savos just make the chulin shlishi. And shlishi chazal we're not going on when it's chulin. Okay? I'm just going to go back to this issue later on. So as well, pasal l'hakel. He says this is a kula.
Question.
Yeah.
Yadayim or shnios, we say.
Yeah.
So that's the same type of shnios as this sheni latuma from the sheriff?
Right. Midrabanan. Well, that's the way it works, right?
Okay. But only midrabanan.
Yeah. The shirts might be the raisa, but the hands only the rabbanan. Okay? So pasal will be a dime shape of the brain. Says more now, not necessarily. Maybe it's all natural. Maybe a sheni kamek shlish b'chulin. Alright, so why over here did he say that it's a special gzeira? That's not the question, really. I lost my train of thought. 1 second.
You just said that you can take Trumas Maisa, make it you could take it off.
Right. Why can't you do that? Because it's about the Tumah de Rabbanan. The Tumah de Rabbanan of Yadayim. Right, thanks. This is the Rabbanan of Yadayim. Not the same as what we're talking about over here. Could be that there, since the Tumah of Yadayim is Rabbanan, so there were Machmi, how we say that there's no Shlishi. But by us, we're talking about Tumah Sheretz, maybe there is Shlishi.
Which is my question. That's what I asked you before.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it. So it says more, what about Tvul Yom? Tvul Yom is the Raisa. Yet it says, the word Meko. It says more at the part there, but Tvul Yom based on Prasna about Tvul Yom the Rabbanan. They walk through a cemetery of questionable, perhaps the grave was trampled and pulverized. It says more, it said, Afilu Tamer Tvul Yom the Vartar. You know what? You can even say Tvul Yom is the Raisa. I'll tell you what. Even say Tvul Yom is the Raisa. So if that's the case, why are we not Choshesh here for a Shlishi? Dvar Torah Shanu. A Tvul Yom is different. It's not the same thing like a Sheni. The Chsiv, it says by a Tvul Yom, Torah Tomei. This is partially Torah, partially Tomei. What does it mean? Torah L'chulim, Mibad Yom becomes Torah L'chulim even before night falls. Mibad Yom means while it's still day. Truma mishtechsher, it only becomes truma for Tomei for truma, Torah for truma when it becomes dark. But what we see from here is as follows: we see that a Tvul Yom doesn't have the same degree of tuma.
He's halfway.
He's halfway there. It's halfway free, right? So therefore, it could be that that's why over here we say that we're mekel, and we don't take into account the shlishi. And he can set aside Trumas Maisa from it. Okay? Says the Gemara, Heisi Rabbi Chagai Kumi Rabbi Yossi. Chagai had fasted for Rabbi Yossi. On Neymar, let's say, differently. Let's say, Tohar b'mago v'tomei ba'achila. Let's say that a Tohar, it says Tohar and Tomei by both Tohar and Tomei like Tvul Yom, may means he's Tohar if he touches, whereas Matame if he eats it. Says more Amalese, he said Kalim on one parsha. Okay, we talk about eating, going to say about Kalim in the parsha. Here, so says more Islach Meimarga, and this is part of the refutation. Islach Meimarga by Kalim Tohirim. Can you say by pure vessels? Can you say by vessels? Tohirim and Maga that the tar by Maga, which may to eat them? Who is eating vessels? Whoever's eating vessels has much worse problems than Tameh and Tar, right? So therefore, if it says that
no, but we're not talking about the vessels. We're talking about the Trumas Meiser.
No, but they're talking about vessels.
We're talking about taking off the
by Tvul Yom.
Yeah.
It talks about vessels. It says it comes to contact with vessels in the Tame then. So you can't say it's Torah b'magav Torah b'achila because there's only one thing to do with vessels. It says in the Tame them actually. Right. Rabbi Chagai's question from Rabbi Yossi was that let's say a Tvul Yom can touch but cannot eat. And maybe there's no Sishi, Sheni, and Shlishi. Just can't touch but cannot eat. That's what I'm saying. He says can't say that because that can't be a dichotomy because those are distinguished here that way. Distinguishes between Kalim, Morning Parsha and Kalim, which are not Omer Parsha, right? And he can't talk about Isach Meimar, Gabi Kalim Torim, Gabi Kalim Torim, Magot Tzveim Bachila. Since Kalim mentioned that Parsha, so if it's a technical component, so therefore whatever you apply to Kalim has to apply to everything else. So you have to draw the economy not between Torah v'Maga and Torah v'Achila, since you know you're Kli Cheres. Rather, you have to draw a distinction between Truma and Chulin.
Say that again.
Yeah, I gotta mix myself up. Let me stand up. It'll go easier for stand up. It's simple, really. First time it's out of sorts. I am awake. The idea is like this. The pasuk says by Tvul Yom that a Tvul Yom who touches the keli makes it is tahor. It's only he's not allowed to eat truma. So it says the Gemara, and for this you want to bring a raya. It must be that for chulin he's immediately tahor, and that's why he can touch the kelim. Now that means there would seem that one could say that there's no such thing as a shlishi midoraisa, because otherwise how can you by chulin? Because otherwise how can you immediately? Because Tvul Yom is like a sheni, so therefore how can you immediately? Must there's no such thing as a shlishi, or says not necessarily. May distinguish between whether you can touch and whether you can eat. You can touch me, but you can't eat till nightfall, right? And even by chulin you can't eat till nightfall. And in that case, I would say the chulin obviously does have a concept of shlishi, because until nightfall, the guy makes the chulin tameh, right? Even though he's only like a shady. So it says, well, you can't say that distinction. He says because it says here that you're it says Amar Lei in the fourth to last narrow the first to last line. Amar Lei Kalim Amar Parsha. It says Kalim in the Parsha. Mitzvah member Gabi Kalim Term and Magot Tmeim Bachila. You want to distinguish between that which you can touch and that which you can eat? You can't say that because the whole Parsha is talking specifically about Kalim.
Now, are these Klei Cheres?
Makes no difference.
Well, Klei Cheres, he might be able to touch on the outside because that doesn't become tummy. It's only when he puts his hand inside.
Yeah, but it doesn't draw a distinction between where you're touching them. You're touching on the inside and the outside. Parsha doesn't draw such a distinction. So how can you draw such a distinction? So therefore, it's talking about both Klei Cheres and Klei Matchos, or Klei Eitz, whatever you're talking about. So the bottom line is that it says here that whatever we're talking about by Kalim. And it says by Kalim again, Amar Kalim Mu'ud Parsha. Isa Meimar Gabi Kalim Tamei Torim B'Mago Tamei B'Achila. Can say it's Tamei B'Mago Tamei B'Achila. Obviously you can't draw a distinction like that because you can't eat Kalim. So therefore, it must be talking about not the distinction between touching and eating, but a distinction between truma and chulin. I'm missing. There's one important point, two important points I have to make here. It says in the Pnei Moshe brings down. You don't have to look inside Pnei Moshe, but it says in one pasuk it says that b'mayim yuva v'tamei ere v'tamei ere v'toher. That's one part. It says that's what it says. He's tamei till nightfall, and then he's toher. So it means he's quasi. That means he's tamei till. That means he's tamei. And then there's another pasuk which says that. No, that's one, and that's one pasuk which says, "Kol kli asher yasem lacha bohem, b'mayim yuva." Any kli with which you do malacha has to be put in the water. So therefore, how do we reconcile these two psukim? It must be actually they're not contradicting each other.
They're not. They're implying that even the second.
But it's saying that the whole thing is about kalim.
Yeah.
Kalim are not shaykh to talk about the distinction between eating and not eating. So it must be that the kalim are distinguished between truma and chulin. It says don't eat till nightfall. You can touch it, but don't eat till nightfall, right? Because that's a law. It says kol kli asher yasem malacha b'hem b'mayim yuva v'toher. I'm not expressing this again, right? It says kol kli asher. It says every kli you bring it to put into water and it's toher. But it says you can't go eat your truma till nightfall. So how do we reconcile the two things? So the Yerushalmi wants to supposedly reconcile the two things by saying that immediately upon you going to the mikveh, you can eat mice and eat chulin. Because a keli is really chulin. That's what a keli is defined as. There's no definition of keli as truma, and then at night you can go and eat your truma. So it means what? It means that there's no shlishi by chulin, there is shlishi by truma. So that's for truma has to wait, not by chulin. Not like Rabbi Kiva our Mishnah, because Rabbi Kiva our Mishnah said that even by chulin there's already shlishi.
Yeah. Why do you say that there's no chulin, there's no shlishi by chulin? How do you learn that out?
Because it says his access to chulin is immediate.
Okay.
But Tfuyam's access to chulin is immediate. That's what we're saying. Okay. Let's go back a few lines. Let's go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines at the bottom. About Shai the Chsiv Torah Tamid says he's Torah and he's Tomei. Torah l'chulim mibod yom start for chulim before night falls. U'truma shetech is start for truma only from darkness. Hesi Rabbi Chagai ko Rabbi Yossi something. Chagai and ask for Rabbi Yossi. Or name let's say Torah b'maga. He's Torah to touch. His Torah b'achil is not allowed to eat. Let's say a distinction like that. But he says kelim on price. We're not talking about kelim. He's like meimar gabi kelim. Torah b'maga to meim b'achila. Kind of nourish kind of say. You can't talk about kelim. That's the choice between whether you can touch them, whether you can eat them. Masisim Sailura. There's the following price seems, although it's ultimately I think we're going to reject if I recall correctly, to be a raya for ra. That there is a shlishi by chulin. Says the Gemara, Amar Rishon shebuchulin tamei. Rishon chulin is tamei. Umetame makes something else tamei. Vasheni the second. Poisel v'lo metame. Passes, but it's not tamei. That doesn't mean posel. Doesn't mean Hasheni poisel v'lo metame.
Matami means it doesn't make it a shlishi. Doesn't anything constant contact doesn't become shlishi, but it's also for eating.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, but the truth is it can't be, because it says here that shlishi nechal ben nezir hadema. The shlishi of chulin can be eaten together with truma if it falls in together. Because even if it's tummy, it's shlishi, it could still be eaten together with truma. Why is that? Because it's not really tummy. So I'm not sure whether the difference is between Tomei and Poisel. I don't know if there's any difference, but according to this Brisa, you do have a Sheni making a Shlishi, right? By Chulin. Because it says your Shlishi is Nechal b'Nezira Dema, which means b'Di'evet. Nechal means if it fails, in L'Chatchil you have to avoid it.
Maybe it has to be Batel in 100.
No, it doesn't have to. That's what it says. Nechal b'Nezira for Kohen obviously. It doesn't have to. But it's only b'Di'evet. The Korban Eidah explains it, and Mrs. Korban Eidah before. Korban Eidah says the difference between Poisel and Metame is that Poisel works by Metame can go down 2 levels. A Sheni Metame makes Shlishi and Revi. A Poisel will only make 1 level below it, only Revi. So here by Truma actually it's 1 step above that. And Metame can make Sheni and Shlishi. Poisel can only make Shlishi. Okay? So and that's by Chulin as well, according to this, right? Shlishi Nechal b'Nezira Dema. Now here, that's a critical point. It's on the top of Chabez Amrav. Holasoso Dema also. If it got mixed in, it's okay, but you can't mix it in the Chatchila. Okay? So we see here that there is a Shlishi, because it says you're only b'Di'evet, not the Chatchila, by Chulin, right? It says, V'emar de Basra. No! Look at what's later in the Brisa. It says, Rishon v'ashei shebetruma t'meim metamin, Rishon shei v'ayturu tumra bat. But Shlishi Poisel v'lo metame, Shlishi passes and doesn't make Tomei. Karbi nechal v'zir kosh revi can be eaten with kodesh b'Di'evet. Item la so kodesh asur. If you're going to say here too that the taich is that you can't make revi into kodesh, just sort of a L'shem Rav, what's the name of Rav? Shlishi ba machmas sheret. If you have a shlishi which comes because of a sheret, there are 3 words missing here. Also lasos a kodesh. Now to make a kodesh. Harvi mutal lasos a kodesh. But it says here, amazing thing, it says Harvi you're allowed to make kodesh. If you have Harvi by Truma, you're allowed to make a kodesh. How come you're allowed to make kodesh? It says your Harvi is necha b'Nezira Dema. B'Di'evet it get mixed in, it's okay. But l'chatchil to make a kodesh, how you l'chatchil allowed to make a kodesh? It's contradiction in Rav. If you're going to say nechom and the ziyadam is the Di'evet, so how can l'chatchil make a kodesh, right? So and says continuing on this price, so shlomru vi b'kodesh. You only say revi b'kodesh, ela b'kodesh kodesh mukdashim. It's only saying it was already kodesh. This is given showing kodesh, right? It was mukudesh already. It was put into klisharis. Then there's revi. But while it's still truma, then it can be made kodesh even if it becomes revi. It's an interesting distinction. If it already is kodesh, then and it becomes revi, it's possible. But if it was truma, then became revi, and then you want to make a kodesh afterwards, that's okay. So actually, it's going to be a fundamental thing. So says the Gemara. So actually, you say that nechal b'Nezira Demas b'Di'evet. If it says here, you can make a kodesh l'chatchila. Says the Gemara, no, you know why you're not allowed to make truma l'chatchila kodesh for a peripheral reason. You know why not? That's it. Finish Gan Shas. Suvis comes next. You still have 10 more minutes. What? That's going to sleep. Like father, like son. Okay.
Get some coffee.
Okay. So it says, so Amr really says a very nice distinction. He says, we love Truma. I already told you about Truma. Truma also allows a kodesh. Shul lahamtzi botakol. It's a very nice answer. Or it says, you can't, it's not the Truma, the Revi, Truma which is Revi, cannot be put in with Kodesh. Because it's Revi and Revi is not so good. Revi is taka good. The only time Revi is the problem is if it's already Kodesh, then it becomes Revi. But take something which was previously Revi and make it Kodesh, that's okay. But not with Truma. You know why? For a technical reason. Because Truma has to be eaten. It's a mitzvah to eat Truma. And Kodesh, all sorts of problems that become Noisar, Pikul, Tameh, right? So therefore, you're going to be ma'abi the truma if you put it together to kodesh. You see what I'm saying? It's not the pshat that you can't mix them together. You can. Because you can mix them with truma. Why did it say not to? Not because there's some inherent psul, but it's like an eitz toiva. Don't do it because then you're going to lose the right to eat the truma. Because of no certain issues like that. So that's how we reconcile the two parts of it. Revi b'kodesh takeh, revi b'truma takeh is not tummy. And you can make it cook. Could even l'chatchila mix it into nazira dema. Why did it say not to do it? It says not to do it because you're going to cause yourself problems with the truma. Okay?
And you're not worried about causing yourself problems with the kodesh?
The truma doesn't create problems with kodesh. It's the other way around. Because it's saying the whole point is that revi is not tummy. So what problems do you cause for the kodesh? But what's really fundamental is the point, put your finger on it, and the Gemara is going to discuss it in greater detail. There's no concept, and really the Gemara said it already. If you have chulin, which is sheni, and that's no good. I'm sorry. You have chulin, which is shlishi. And by chulin makes no difference, right? By truma, there is a shlishi. It doesn't matter, since right now it's chulin, you can make it a truma. When it's truma, it should be a problem retroactively. It doesn't work that way. Since when you made a truma, it wasn't a problem, it never becomes a problem. If you have truma, which is shlish, which is revi, which is not, that's what I'm saying, which is not a problem by truma, but is a problem by kodesh, you can make it kodesh still. Because lo'am revi el b'kodesh kodesh v'kudashim, when it's already kodesh, not beforehand. Which is an interesting principle. The Gemara is actually going to bring down exceptions to this later on. But generally speaking, whatever, b'asher u'sham, whatever it is now, is what we give it status. And even though we're making something in which we're, after we finish elevating, this thing should retroactively become possible, that's the type of brera, which we don't say. I know, I saw the smile flickering across your lips. Okay? So says Mara, V'amor the Basra, what about the following case? Harishon v'asheni v'ashlishi shebekodesh tamei. Rishon she'shlishi b'kodesh tamei. Umetami, and they make other things tamei. Revi b'kodesh posa v'lo metami. The Chamishi and Chamishi. Where do you get Chamishi from? Nechal ben Zira Kodesh. Says in Tamar. Now this is obviously talking about where it was Kodesh, Mekudesh, and then it became Revi. Because otherwise there's no Revi, right? So, but the Chiesh in Tamar, Lasos Kodesh also. They say, what are you going to say? That you can't make the mix of the Chamishi with the Kodesh and the Chatchila? Chiesh Chamishi with Kodesh. Is there Chamishi b'Kodesh? Why can you mix it in the Chatchila? It sounds like you can't mix it in the Chatchila. It makes no sense. So it must be, says Umar. No. When it says Nechal b'Nazira Dema, it's not b'Diyev, it's even the Chatchila. There's no such thing as Chamishi l'Kodesh. It sounds like Chamishi, Nechal b'Nazira Dema. B'Diyev, there's no such thing. It can't be because no Chamishi b'Kodesh. It's only Chamishi in outlandish cases of Paraduma. Because they're super machmir. But by Kodesh, there's no such thing. So they're ever going backwards and say, you know what? This is a right. Every time it says Nechal b'Nazira Dema, it means even l'Chatchila. Because you can't say that Chamishi by Kodesh is only b'Di'evet. It doesn't work because there's no such thing as Chamishi by Kodesh. So it must be that's even l'Chatchila. It must be where Revi, you can mix Revi by Kodesh with Truma l'Chatchila. And it must be that you can mix also Sheni and Shlishi and Chulin with Truma l'Chatchila. So why did it sound like B'di'evet? It said B'di'evet before? Asher said it sound like B'di'evet. It's even l'Chatchila. So it's no longer Raya for Rav. Because Vilna says it's a Raya for Rav that there's Shlishi by Chulin. Because it says only B'di'evet you can eat the Nazir Adema, that which falls in the Truma, not l'Chatchila. So it's Marshal the Rish Shlishi by Truma, right? So the Gemara says, no, let's go further down the line in the Brisa. It's not possible, because that would mean that Chamishi, by Kodesh, is also to eat l'chatchila with reviva kodesh, right? Well, I mean with regular kodesh, only if it falls in. It's not shach. There's such thing as chamishi. So therefore, it must be that always b'di'ev is lav dafka even l'chatchila. It's okay. Okay, that's what we're saying. So it says the Gemara, vat amar leis kain v'hacha leis kain, and you wanted to say. So therefore, since you say here that it doesn't apply, Kori here can't mean b'di'evet. Even previously in the Brayz, it also could not have meant b'di'evet as well. Okay, and there's no riot for Rav. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan said, "Hashlishi abom machmas asheretz mutal asoso truma ad kedei kach." If you have a shlishi which came because of sheretz, you're allowed to make a truma. No bones about it, right? Shlishi which came shlishi and chulin can become truma. Boy, come if you look Rabbi Akiva, they said it's not even like Rabbi Akiva. What do you mean? Rabbi Akiva and Ramisha said that shlishi bar chulin. That was no thrust of Rabbi Akiva. Says more, yes. That's what he says. Rabbi Yosef Shamila said, if you look Rabbi Akiva, even like Akiva. The lama, why? Tvu yom pasil or tvu yom pasils v'asheni pasil and a sheni pasils. Ma tvu yom ain't a place that's a chulim lasos and truma. If a tvu yom touches chulim, they can still become truma. But sheni ain't a place that's a chulim lasos and truma. So too, a sheni cannot make chulin pasil from becoming truma. It's a fascinating concept. So he says, even though there's shlishi by chulin, it's really it's very difficult to grasp. It says, even though, and the Gemara is going to discuss a little bit more detail, even though there's shlishi by chulin, according to Rabbi Kiva, Doraisa, that shlishi can be made into truma. And when it becomes truma, it loses its psul. Because shlishi by chulin is only considered to be puzzle. I don't even know puzzle is the right word, because it said puzzle is something which you even but not 2 levels down. Shlishi by chulin is considered to be a deficit. But it's not a veto, and therefore you can make it into truma, and when it becomes truma, it loses that deficit. That's what I'm saying so far. All right, we'll have to come back to tomorrow night, and it's a fascinating thing that you can actually make something which is technically no good into truma, and it loses that psul.
Sounds like how to get rid of a mamzer.
Yeah, it sounds like being Matar Mamzer. That's right. But the way I was going to explain it, it's not that bad.